see a pretty exciting college basketball game here with an unbelievable environment. I want to start off by really, our fans were amazing. It was, I've been in a lot of arenas in my career at a lot of different levels. But that was darn near as loud as I've heard it. It was, and when we needed it, down 15, whatever, 14 or whatever, we were in the second half, and to come back like that, in large part due to the crowd, very appreciative of their energy in the building throughout the game, really. It was a tale of two halves for us. In the first half, it was two things. We were emotional. We didn't handle them making shots very well. We stuck to the game plan, but we were instead of decisive and executing, we were emotional. And you can't play that way. And so at halftime, I spent most of the half trying to get them to the emotional state that we needed to be. Second half, we came out, and we were really good, really defended. Sat down on Giroux and really kept him from getting to his right hand. Their leading scorer, Mills, Jaron decided he was going to defend the second half and did an unbelievable job. Trey did a great job on White. So we settled down. The first 4 minutes, I knew that we were going to play well. That doesn't always mean you're going to get the outcome you want, but I knew in the first 4 minutes of the second half we were going to play well. Then they got up, all right? And they got up like that, and we acted the way we did in the first half. There's no way we had a chance to win this game because we were too emotional. Once we got settled down and understand what we needed to execute, I didn't think the lead really bothered us. And we were able to come back by getting stops, getting out in transition. Didn't make a lot of free throws tonight, so to still win the game and not make free throws, I was really proud of our guys' overall performance.
You also had that comeback and a huge win, but Jaron only scored 4 points in the second half. What's that mean to this team to show, he doesn't have to be everything and we can still do this?
Well, we're pretty balanced scoring-wise. We have 4 or 5 guys in double figures, not just on the season, but even in conference play. So I think one of the things that's come with Jaron getting healthy is other guys have learned how to score and make plays, and now we're more of a balanced offensive team. But make no mistake about it, he had the ball in his hands in the second half, and we were allowing him to make all the decisions. And he would have scored a lot more than he made his free throws, which he typically does. So he was still in position to score and make plays. I just thought other guys also stepped up.
You mentioned him wanting to guard Mills. Was that like a discussion at halftime?
No, I mean, he locked in and decided he was going to sit down and defend.
So it was a personal decision on his part.
Yeah. So we knew we wanted to put him on Mills because we felt like he'd be effective because you had to really get up underneath him. And I thought Keith Williams was really good on Mills late too. He made some tough shots. So really proud of the defensive performance in the second half. And even on the backboard, we give up 12 second chance points, which I think was more than that in the first half. I told our guys at halftime, our first shot defensive percentages had to have been pretty good in the first half. It was the second shots that were killing us, and we knew that going in.
Don, I know you say you never get too high or too low, but down by 15 in the second half against a team like Houston, was there a little extra fire in the locker room for this one?
There was. My demeanor pretty much stays the same. It's important that our guys look over, they understand where we're heading, the direction we're going in. And I think they understand that now. But as far as it was a little too emotional, probably a little too loose to start the game. We got it settled down at halftime. And they got up. We fought back. We got some tough young men in that room. And Houston's as good as I've seen on tape. Obviously, I haven't seen Wichita yet, so I know they're really good as well. But the way they play and the way they execute, and as well coached as they are, that's a hard win, in large part due to the toughness of our guys in the second half.
The games to build on, do you point to games like this? Remember what happened in that game down by 15, the way we battled back and beat a team like that?
Yeah, I mean, you can look back at the times that we gave up leads. We've pretty much been through the gamut this year. Overtimes, last-second shots, crazy endings. Don't get a defensive rebound at the end. The guy contest, missed a shot to win the game. A lot of different scenarios we've been in, and we want to ascend into March. That's our goal, and I feel like we're taking that step now.
John, Trey in here just said we showed how powerful we can be when we all stick together. Is that what you've been preaching to this team throughout the season?
Yeah, that's the term we use, powerful. As we wrote it on the board before we went out. We're powerful when we're together and connected and playing for each other instead of having agendas. And they don't know how powerful they can be. I'm trying to tell them it, and I think they're starting to realize it as each day goes by. Now, what do you do on Monday when you come back to practice? Do you take the approach you've taken the last 3 weeks and go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to prepare for Thursday? Or do you take a step back? That'll be the challenge we have going forward.
They had one field goal in the last 11 minutes, 30 seconds. Chris and Trey said there wasn't really anything different that you guys did on defense at the end.
We decided we were going to guard.
Yeah.
The game plan was exactly what it needed to be, and they knew it, and then they took it and they utilized it. They did a good job of being in the right spots in the first half. We just didn't have our emotional, mental, and physical investment, which means play hard defensively in the first half.
You went back to Keith. He had 2 fouls, I think, at the under 8 timeout in the first half. Did you just feel like you needed his athleticism out there?
I did. I felt like it was, I'll never say getting away from us, but I felt like the game was going in the direction that I felt like I'd had to put him back in at that time. You know, you learn, it's the first year of coaching these guys. So you learn. Like Chris Vogt, I know when I can take him and I'm learning these guys, they can play through 2 fouls. And Keith showed tonight that he can.
It's the same with maybe Harvey in terms of athleticism. He actually played a lot more, 18 minutes tonight. He was
Well,
down
Zach's an example of a guy who, hasn't played a whole lot. And listen, I'm not going to get on a rant, but basketball doesn't lie. It's truth serum, okay? So if you put in the work each and every day and you're willing to go out and be aggressive during games, it's going to pay off. If you don't, then you're not going to take advantage of an opportunity. Zach Harvey's been really, really good the last 3 weeks in practice. He gets an opportunity, he takes advantage of it. I mean, it's the way the game works. You have to put into it to get out of it. And that's what we preach to our guys all the time. And it's Zach Harvey tonight, it could be somebody else tomorrow.
Have you ever seen a player bite another player in a scrum?
I didn't see it, so I mean, obviously they told me, but not that I'm aware of.
What was the explanation either from officials or maybe your players after the game? Of what
The officials just came up and said that, it was a flagrant foul, and we got the ball playing technical, and the player was kicked out. We got the ball back, so all I was thinking about is what we were going to run when we took the ball out.
Mamadou didn't give you any explanation after the game for what happened?
No, it wasn't a topic of conversation. No.
John, you kind of have a low gravelly sounding voice. It's a little more hoarse right now. You talked about practice on Monday. How do you recover the voice? Hot tea? What do you do?
Well, so Dr. Mangine, not quite a doctor, but he might as well be. I did hot tea, which I hate. I did chicken noodle soup hot, which I did like. And none of it worked. So there's some remedies my mother has for me that I can't say on air right now that I'll probably utilize maybe.
You have to be ready for Monday, right? I mean,
It has to be. Yeah, I got to be ready. The guys got to be ready. I got to be ready.
Trey's had games where maybe they've played off of him and he hasn't scored or hasn't played as well. Tonight, they're doubling Chris. Keith gets foul trouble. Jaren's awful in the second half. He has a double-double, 4 assists.
Well, Justin, I knew going in that they were in. We run our stuff through Jaren and Chris, and I knew that. And what they do well is take away the centers and the guards. So I knew that those guys were going to have to step up. I didn't say that to them, but I knew they'd have to step up at some point. And Trey's a senior. I mean, he wanted to. This was an important game for us, and he took advantage of it.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Coach.